what happens when viral views don't convert to likes, followers, and customers?
Attention for me is surface level and trust is earned.
Attention is rented and trust is owned.
Whatever you're talking about, do you know what you're talking about? Is it something that is true? Is it something that you've done, tested? Welcome to the Social Edge podcast. I'm Ishu.
And I'm Georgia.
And today we're talking about why attention alone isn't enough and what it takes to build trust on social media.
I love this topic. Going viral feels like the dream. But what happens when those viral views don't convert to likes, followers, and customers? That's what we're going into today. We're breaking down why views alone aren't important and why it's important to have trust and build that community on social media, but how you can also have both.
Absolutely. I love it. This is going to be a really good conversation. It's something that we notice is needed around our marketplace, especially our clients, and hopefully some of you are subscribers. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, go ahead and do that now because I'm sure you're going to love all the content that's coming up. So, attention. Let's talk about it. Some would say it's more valuable than people's time. Two flips of the coin. So what are your thoughts? Why does attention not equal to trust at the moment? And what does it take to kind of flip it?
Yeah, I love this question. So why does attention not equal trust? Because in the past, it was like if you had a post go viral, you had attention, and then people would automatically either like, follow. It was going viral, having those views was like a metric that converted more naturally to the others. Whereas nowadays that isn't really happening in the same way, in the sense that you can have a post go viral and you may not even increase that many followers. You may not convert people. Why is that happening? First of all, it's because of the way that the platforms are set up. So as you all know, like for example on Instagram, TikTok, it's a feed. Even on YouTube, it's a feed. So people are scrolling, they're searching, they're doing other things, they're on their phones, it might be late at night. And if a piece of content is performing well, i.e. it's trending and therefore going viral, it means that it's going to be prioritized on the platform for more people to see it. So it's like attention's like this on social media. So it's going like this, steady along. And then it goes like this. If your post keeps getting viewed, it's getting shared, it's getting traction. It'll go like this, and then the platform pushes it even more, and it's going like this and this and this. So that's why trending content goes quickly like that. So once you kind of hit a good benchmark, it's likely to outperform everything else, and really, really perform. Okay, but let's go back to the question: why does attention not equal trust? Because basically, in the current marketplace, anyone can grab attention.
Absolutely.
But not everyone can keep attention. And that's the bit that is fleeting. So you might be able to capture somebody's attention. You might shock them. You might surprise them. You might get them to watch that piece of content. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to want to follow you. So that's where trust comes in. Trust is from delivering value, delivering consistency, building it over time. I said to someone today, social media is a marathon, not a sprint.
Wow.
Because they were talking about metrics. They were talking about what are their metrics in terms of their performance. And I said it's about building a community and going on that journey and taking people with you. It's not about quick moments overnight. Yes, going viral is amazing and it's a great addition to a great strategy that when something goes viral, obviously your exposure is greater. Hopefully you're going to bring new people in, get that reach. But what you want to do is you want to consistently build over time, build trust amongst your community, build trust amongst your audience, and therefore get that growing community that then you can sell to or then you can deliver your offer to. But the reason attention doesn't equal trust right now is simply because people are just consuming content at such a fast rate.
It's very surface level, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know, like just because I saw a viral reel and I thought it was really funny and therefore it got my attention doesn't mean I want to follow that person because it might not be anything that I'm really interested in. It's just that one piece of content caught my eye.
Yeah.
So they got a view from me. They may have even got a like from me, but they've not got a customer from me.
That's it.
So what we need to help people do is kind of bridge the gap and kind of bring trust and attention together. And that's what we help our clients do. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
I think this is a good topic.
Let's dive into it. The way I see it is very simple. Attention for me is surface level and trust is earned. What does that mean? You talked about the feed. People scroll every single day, close stories, reels, carousels, TikToks, whatever it is. It's all just momentary.
Yes.
You come in, you hook people. One of the things we talked about in our first episode ever about authenticity of following people through. Sometimes you just said, you might like a viral piece of content, but you might not follow it.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Maybe the person's strategy that posted that viral reel didn't follow through to make sure when people do come to their profile, funnels them into more of what just hooked them in, right? So that's one of the things that, sometimes attention could skew people's interaction with their content is that what might be something great as a one-off isn't consistent.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so we can unpack it.
Yeah, well, I wrote this question down for you, and I think this is a really good one. So, what do we think on social media, particularly, signals and builds trust? What signals build trust? So, what certain things on social media right now help build trust?
100%. Great question. Competency.
Yeah.
Whatever you're talking about, do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is it something that is true?
Yeah.
Is it something that you've done, tested?
Yeah.
Is it something that you're genuinely showing people that they can take away, implement, and see a result?
So it's almost like social proof.
Social proof.
You expect it. People expect, in order for that trust to be earned, they're expecting not just that you're saying you've done it, but there's some social proof behind that.
You can showcase it, clients, testimonials, whether that's video or written, proof of the social platforms. For example, we had a lot of great views and followings for our clients. And oftentimes, if you go to our website, you can go and see following screenshots, engagement screenshots. We actually have the proof to back it. It's not just
the
words.
Journey, showing the journey.
Exactly. But I think more than that, it's the consistency part. Just because you've started one topic and you've gotten it right and you've talked about it well, doesn't mean you've arrived. It needs to continue. The next thing that you're talking about, are you the expert in it? Are you really?
Yes. So people are looking to see that you haven't just done something once. You have the expertise to back that up. So they're going to see it show up again
the repetition.
and again. And that's that consistency element that brings trust. So it's like they're seeing in every time they interact with you, whether that's for a real piece of content, your other accounts, your clients, what your clients say about you, everything further backs up the fact that you are who you say you are. That's what builds trust. That's what we're saying.
It made me think a little bit about, I'm a foodie a little bit. When you go to a good restaurant, you like a good restaurant, right?
Yes, I'm a foodie too.
We go to a good restaurant and you enjoy a meal, you enjoy the service, you enjoy how you're taken care of. The experience, right? If you go there once and you leave completely mesmerized by the experience, it's very likely that you'll come back. But what's more important is the second time you come back, because you already have a benchmark to compare it to, right? So then the restaurant, in this case, if you're a personal brand or a business owner, you want to make sure when the person comes back, they receive that level of service that they've had before or better. Yeah. Right? So often people think that, if I do it once and I show that I can do it, I don't have to put in the effort the same way. Where I think it's the opposite. Once you've done it once and you've done it really well, you want to keep showing people that there's more. One more step, one more intention, one more mindset shift that will help people leave different than the way they walked in.
I love this idea, and it got me thinking as you were talking, basically because of what you said about restaurants, about like the franchise industry and why franchising, particularly in restaurant, like franchise restaurants, why does it work? It's because so let's just talk about some of the top chains like Zzz's, Wagamama's, McDonald's even. Restaurant obviously or fast food. Yeah. You know what you're going to get at that restaurant, at that fast food restaurant, at that place. You know the experience you're going to receive. Yeah. So like if you go into Wagamama's, you know the kind of tables, you know the aesthetic, you know what a katsu curry contains. You know exactly what's going to arrive on your plate. You know the experience. And so you keep going back because you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Is it the best food of that kind? Many people, even if they love the chain, will say no. Obviously, like an independent Italian will probably be more bespoke, more true to Italian food than Zizzi's.
Sure.
However, you know what you're going to get with Pizza Express. You know what you're going to get with Zizzi's. You know what you're going to get with those chain restaurants. So you keep going back because you know the price point, which is like middle of ground.
Yeah.
It's not too expensive.
Yeah.
You know that the service is going to be at a certain level. You know that then the food is going to hit that benchmark because generally it does. Now, of course, there's a unique experience that's going to let you down. But the thing that keeps people going back to those chains is that they know what they're going to get. Yeah. And actually, if we just make it as simple as that, for social media, people just want to know that every time they see your piece of content, every time they come back to you, they know what they're going to get.
100%.
And so your social media should be that lived out. Because if someone's going to give you a follow, it's because they like what they see and they want to keep receiving it.
Yeah.
And then obviously if they're going to convert to become a customer, it's that same thing. They've trusted in what you've delivered to them through the content that you've produced has been so consistent, and they know what they're going to get from you. They've built that trust, and therefore you have their attention now. Because you've built trust, you now have their attention, and now they want to become a paid client because they want the secret sauce. They want that little extra. They want that one-on-one. Like for someone who does like a one-on-one coaching, they've experienced you now, and they think, I'd love to get on a call with that person.
Absolutely.
So they invest. That's
so good.
That's what it is, isn't it? Really. And like, I actually love that analogy. I've never used that before with a client or anything. Yeah. But now talking it through, it makes complete sense.
It makes
and
total
that's
sense.
It's marketing, right? That's why the franchise restaurants work. Yeah. So let's just break it down, keep it really simple. Yeah. This is why sometimes, even though you could just put out like a trendy piece of content that's like off the wall, and it might get you more views, but if it doesn't link back to what you deliver, it doesn't link back to your personal brand, actually, even though that one piece of content got you more views, it's not going to get you more followers, and it's actually not going to grow your account. So you need to keep your content consistent. Yeah. And if that then performs and goes viral, rather than like you just jumping on something that doesn't really relate to you, you've got more chance of that viral piece of content converting people than something that was just like trendy for that day. Good. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And it just makes me think about kind of the third pillar that I want to add here, and it's character. Often when people start out, they think that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
They think that they can't show weakness. They think that they can't admit failure or fault. I would encourage people, admit your failures, make it public, let people know what are the things that you've struggled with, you failed with, made better. It's really important to take people on that journey because, again, we learn nothing from success. We learn everything from failure. Yeah. Right? So what we want to do in the part of journey that we're on is, one, create that trust, take people on the journey and go, hey, this is where we were. This is the things that we faced. We kind of fell on our face, but this is what we learned, and this is why we're the expert in the space. I think one of the things that you used to say before was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like, don't address yourself as I'm the expert in the space, but I have experience in.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
A good one.
So is being able to take people on a journey and say, hey, this is the journey experience that we've had in video marketing, in graphic design, whatever it may be, and take people on that journey to go, this is what it took for us to be this excellent.
Yeah. And focus in what you can deliver and show the result of that to build the trust, rather than just saying, this is what I can do for you. Yeah. Because if you just say, this is what I can do for you, people want to know that, see how this is a big claim. How can you back up that claim? I think that's where what you're saying really plays out really well, and you can curate it within your strategy.
Absolutely.
I really like this.
Can I touch on one more thing here?
Go.
And I want to pick your brain about this, which is, and maybe this is something part of your experience that you can touch on. when clients, for example, might be unhappy with something, or there was a mistake that one would have made on a project or whatever it may be, how does one deal with that? Do you admit fault? I just want to help our young entrepreneurs that are starting out and maybe are yes people, that would say, oh, no, it wasn't us. It'll be perfect. We'll fix it. Is it better off to say, hey, we're really sorry. Yeah, we made the mistake. They don't need to know the reason why, but give us the opportunity to make it better. Or what is your kind of experience on
100% in terms of in anything in business, you got to own a mistake, because if you don't own your mistakes or own errors, you're just going to, people aren't going to trust you, are they? So that's where it comes back to. It's building trust is owning both your wins and your mistakes.
Yeah.
So 100% own the mistake. How can you relay that on social media? I think you can share the journey of, I've seen this a lot actually, it works really well, is you share, okay, these are the mistakes I made in this area of business, or these are the mistakes I used to make before I started my business. And now this is what I learned from it.
Yeah.
So now I do this. So you're basically showing people that you're not portraying, oh, I'm perfect, or, oh, I've got the solution. You're saying, the reason I've got this solution is because I did something wrong before. It's a really nice way to show a bit of humility, bit of human touch.
That's attractive, isn't it?
Yeah, because it shows okay, this person isn't pretending to be perfect all the time. They've actually got a bit of a story. There's something to them. That's why it's so great to just take people on that journey. Don't just don't just always look like the finished product, because I think people can see beneath that. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We've all got things we're working out. We've all got struggles in life, challenges in our control, outside of our control. So if you can be authentic, we've touched on this already, but if you can be authentic in sharing the journey and the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, and as a business, if you've got a business page, for example, there's ways you can do this in a more strategic way. If you're doing this from a personal brand perspective, it can be really great to just share that authenticity some way, somehow. Even if you don't do it as a main post, in your stories, just talk about it. But if you're a business page, it might not make sense to your brand to just start saying all the things that you've done wrong, all your bad customer service.
Yes, of course.
But you can acknowledge in a different way. So you can say, brands do this for a product release. So it's you told us that you wanted X. Well, now we've delivered it for you. You told us that this wasn't producing results and you needed this. So we've created it for you. So it's you're giving them the solution and acknowledging the frustration. It's frustration, really, right? It's your clients, they've bought off you and then they haven't received the results. By you acknowledging the frustration, by delivering something more, sometimes that can be enough to keep them and build that trust, because they feel listened to and heard then, as opposed to if you just dismiss it or ignore it.
But also it's putting yourself in their shoes and kind of, if you were in that position, how would you feel? How would you react?
Yeah.
And being able to actually think, if I was in this position, what do I want to hear? What do I want to receive? And often is, listen, Georgia, I'm really sorry. We messed up, blah, 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 blah. Here's how we're going to make it right.
Yeah.
And we're going to be more vigilant, whatever it is. It's so crucial. And this kind of leads into the next question I want to ask, which I think is going to unpack this a little bit, just a little bit further, which is, can brands earn trust faster than individuals? We're just jumping from kind of the troubleshooting of failure and communication into...
Is it easier as an individual to earn trust as opposed to a brand, or do brands earn trust? Well, I think, as we mentioned on personal brands just now, for an individual, because they're a human, it can sometimes be easier to sort of show that human edge, which can help build that trust. But I think also at the same time, brands can build trust a little bit easier because they can present a polished image and they can put their testimonials in, and they haven't got to have that imperfection of a human. So for example, a brand can just use photos of people, and they can use well-curated videos, and they don't have to worry about the imperfections of normal human life being portrayed on their social media. Like we were just talking about, like they can be more strategic in how they do it and still appear authentic as a brand by like releasing a new product that deals with the issue or troubleshooting or providing an amazing customer service. And there's no like a person who's under attack. Whereas as an individual, if you're an individual with a personal brand or you provide like a coaching program or one-to-one coaching or whatever it is, like that kind of service, sometimes you can feel like you lose trust faster than the brand could because people are quicker to see the human failures.
The behavior aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that we personally haven't talked a lot about, but also our industry doesn't talk a lot about, is behavior.
Yeah.
You know, often we talk about, you know, you can introduce your community to your environment as much as you want. You know, whatever you give, that's what people are going to take. How you behave and how quickly you change your behavior will impact your audience.
And that links to consistency.
Absolutely.
Because is your behavior consistent? Are you showing up consistently? Like,
because people buy into you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, for example, if you're going to commit to do something, you have to commit to it. You have to remain consistent. Because the moment you don't, it's going to show inconsistencies.
Strong.
So, for example, like just like off the cuff example, like one thing I'd like to do more is show up on my stories more, right? Show up, just share bits of my day, highlights of my day. I haven't really managed to do that yet because I'm unable to fit it in right this second in terms of like being consistent in it. And in one sense, until I can manage that consistently, is it a good idea to just show up like once in a blue moon? Because I'm not really going to build trust that way. So I'm better off building trust in what I can constantly deliver on than being a bit sporadic. So how can we like relay that for people? I think what we're trying to say is people notice your behavior patterns because we're human beings and we pick that up. We don't even consciously think of it. We think about it subconsciously. So like, for example, if you follow a certain people, like, or you follow someone on social media and you see them posting like regularly the same kind of stories and you like that kind of content, you're going to, every time they come up, you're going to watch their stories. But if like they're inconsistent in what they post on their stories and they don't keep showing up regularly, you may not be as interested. So I think what we're encouraging people on is that like if you're a personal brand, that you would try to be mindful of like how people are interpreting you as human beings in terms of your behavior, because it's no different to how you show up to meet people in like a normal real life setting.
That's it.
It's like that's where social media does intersect with human life and reality. Oh my gosh, this is like a segue, but this really got me thinking about, have you seen like the AI social media channels? So like there's,
I have, yes.
Yes, there's like accounts on Instagram and it's all AI.
Everything.
And like AI girls and it's like all complete AI robots, AI videos. Yeah, and then they've got loads of views and stuff. Well, the question is, obviously, I think people are following these accounts because they're fascinated with AI. First off, right? So it's not that they're going to them instead of engaging with humans. They're just fascinated with like what can AI deliver, and people are interested in that. I don't think these accounts are necessarily in competition with human accounts, but it's just that people really are interested in like how far can AI go. Then they're seeing like, oh wow, this is what an AI is doing. So how can we do something similar and like embody that? But I think, just to segue that, I think why are these accounts getting so much following? It's because of the consistency element, because AI will not have that human error that we have, where it will just keep being consistent because it knows that's what's going to resonate with people. So it shows up with the same message. That AI has trained its client avatars, like it's trained in knowing what the personal brand strategy is, the avatars are, the kind of content it wants to produce, the content pillars, and it's just repeatedly hitting it. Every single piece of content that goes out, there's no distraction, there's no confusion. So people know what they're going to receive, just like when you go to a chain restaurant. So it's like they don't have to think about what they're receiving from these creators, these AI creators. Whereas like from a human, if you're sporadic and you're not consistent, people don't know what they're going to get. That doesn't mean that you can't step outside of the mold from now and again. But I do really believe that consistency is what builds trust. And I believe that when you get that right, alongside content that appeals to your target audience, that's where you get that views, the things that resonate, and you get the conversion because of the trust.
It makes me think about this one sentence. It's not about being personal. It's about being reliable.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than being able to rely on somebody. And as you were talking about the AI Instagram accounts, it made me think, I don't really watch the news, for example, but I follow specific news outlets, accounts on Instagram. Why? Because they're consistent, they're quick, and I can learn everything I need to know.
Yeah, what's going on in the world.
In 3 or 4 swipes. The same thing with AI, with those tools. People probably follow them because they just want to keep up with what is going out, because daily there are changes, new introductions or whatever, because they get it quickly, they get it consistently, and they don't have to go and search for it.
Yeah.
Just coming up. So that's very interesting.
I like that.
I love that line. It's not about being personal. It's about being reliable and real. I think that's one of the things that people need to just remember. Every day you're not going to feel like showing up, but people are waiting for you to come through on what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
And if you are somebody, for example, that does Instagram live events or somebody that promises freebies or whatever it is that you're communicating to people, make sure you come through with it. Because if you don't, next time you say, hey guys, check out, this event next week or whatever it is, they're going to be like, he's not going to come through with it. There's no point looking.
I love that. And we wrote this in the notes. Attention is rented and trust is owned.
Strong.
How powerful is that?
Yeah.
Like, that is really what it is. Like, when you're getting someone's attention, you're just borrowing their time.
Yes.
Whereas when you get their trust and they become part of your community, they've bought in, just like buying a house. Like, and now they're invested. Like, they always say there's like a study about communities where the properties are mainly rented versus communities where the properties are owned, and the care and the what people put into their properties once they own them, because they take ownership of it. And it's the same then when you've got someone who's an invested community member in your social media, they've invested in your content, versus if they are just a viewer, like they're a renter, they're just passing by, they're on the conveyor ship. And I think what we want to encourage people is that if you build trust, if you remain consistent, if you continue to stick to who you truly are, your brand message, your client avatars, your character, we believe that the attention will follow. And that's what we see with our clients. Once they remain consistent and they stick to their brand strategy, they do start to see that result, and they start to gain more attention by building it with the community of people who actually want to follow them. So that's our sort of takeaway from today. I really feel that if you can just grasp that and you can put it into your strategy, I think you'll start to see some results. Please don't get too held up on like the views and stuff. If you're just starting out your account, or if you've just returned to posting again, try not to get focused too much on the views. Try not to get too much focused on the follows. Just remain consistent and see what could happen. Because I guarantee every step you take, every day you post, every time you remain consistent on your brand message, you'll look back in the years to come and you'll be grateful for the time that you spent today doing that. So yeah.
I love that. You don't build trust by going viral. You build trust by showing up over and over and over again. I mean, what a topic.
It's been great.
Super, super good.
I love this topic. I feel like this was a really good one at sort of bringing together a lot of our past episodes.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to any of our past episodes, go back, search the Social Edge podcast on any of your streaming platforms and give them a listen. Start from the episode 1, because every single episode is so full of like meaty stuff. Yeah. And I love this stuff because I think like we get so many like tips and tricks online. We're not talking tips and tricks here. We're just talking about like the mindset behind it and what actually causes people to do certain things on social media. And I think it will help anyone who's feeling like overwhelmed and not knowing where to begin to just kind of go back on that journey and start to make some changes.
I love it. Thank you for listening in. We'll catch you on the next episode.